Hey guys, here we are again. It's time for Chapter 2 of the A to Z Mysteries Lucky Lottery by Ron Roy. Chapter 2. Dink stared at Lucky. No one moved or spoke. Giggling and eating noises, or lunch noises, came from the kitchen. $7 million, Josh said, finally finding his voice. Lucky nodded. Gramps was so happy he could hardly talk, he said. But when I told him the card was gone, I thought he was going to cry. Lucky scooted forward in his chair. Do you guys think you can find the crook and get my ticket back? I can't leave the house because I have to watch the kids. What if it's too late? Ruth Rose asked. Maybe the thief cashed in the ticket already. Lucky shook his head. He can't. Today is Sunday, so the lottery place is closed. But he could do it when they open again tomorrow morning. Just then they heard a crash from the kitchen. Whispering followed the crash, then a chorus of giggling. Guess I'd better get back in there, Lucky said. I promised I'd take them sledding after lunch. So you think you can help? Sure, well, I will help, Dink said. Lucky grinned. Great eye! A 3-foot-tall redhead whirled into the room. Stewart mushed my banana, the kid wailed. And I didn't do nothing to him. Don't cry, Freddie. We'll make Stewie clean up that mushy banana, Lucky said. He took Freddie by the hand and headed toward the kitchen. Call me, okay? He said over his shoulder. The kids let themselves out. Pal was asleep on the front porch, making little snoring sounds. So how are we supposed to find this crook? Josh asked. Where do we even start? From the porch, Dink looked over the front yard. The snow had been trampled where the old Leary kids had been playing. If the crook was here last night, maybe he left a trail, Dink said. Let's check out back. The kids tramped around to the back of the house. The old Leary kids had played only in the front yard, so the snow in the back was fresh and smooth. The yard was surrounded by tall pine trees. Look, Josh said. A trail of footprints led to the back door from across the yard. The guy must have come out of those trees, Dink said, and gone back the same way, Ruthro said. Those footprints go in both directions. The kids followed the tracks into the trees. The footprints veered off to the right, and the kids went with them. With his nose in the snow, Pal sniffed each footprint. Suddenly he let out a woof. Josh stooped down and picked something shiny out of the snow. What is it? Ruth Rose asked. Josh held out his mitten. He was holding a piece of tinfoil that had been twisted into the shape of a small bow tie. Do you suppose the burglar dropped this? Josh asked. Keep it. It's our first clue. A few minutes later, they walked out of the woods onto Bridge Lane. No more footprints, Josh said, glancing up and down the lane. The thief could have walked anywhere from here, or driven, Ruth Rose said. Maybe the guy parked a car here, then hiked into the woods. The day was growing colder. A few big snowflakes started to fall. All three kids had pink cheeks and runny noses. Let's get some hot chocolate at Ellie's, Dink suggested. Then we can plan what to do next. It was a short hike down Bridge Lane to Ellie's Diner on Main Street. The kids pushed the door open and stamped their snowy boots on Ellie's rubber mat. Pal waddled along at Josh's heels. Hey kids, hey pal, what'll it be? Ellie asked from behind the counter. The kids slid into a booth. Hot chocolate, Josh said, struggling out of his down jacket, with about a mile of whipped cream on top. While they waited, Dink thought about what Lucky had told them. Guys, anyone watching TV Saturday night would know the winning numbers, right? He said. But how did the thief know that the winning ticket was inside Lucky's Christmas card? Just then, Ellie came over. "Hot stuff," she said, setting 3 tall mugs on the table. Each was topped with a mountain of whipped cream and dotted with chocolate sprinkles. "Don't burn that cute nose, Josh," Ellie added as she turned away. Josh blushed, then licked the top of his whipped cream. Dink blew on his hot chocolate again. "Got any idea?" he asked. "Somehow the thief knew Lucky's grandfather mailed that ticket to Lucky," Josh said. "But how?" asked Ruth Rose. "Maybe the thief knows Lucky's grandfather, and maybe they're friends," said Josh. "That's a great idea, Josh," Ruth Rose said. "Why don't we talk to Lucky's grandfather?" Dink fished in his pocket for a quarter. "Let me out, guys," he said. "I'm going to call Lucky." Dink climbed over Josh's legs. "Drink fast, but don't burn that cute nose," he said. Oh, let's go ahead and do Chapter 3. Chapter 3. "Got it," Dink said when he returned a few minutes later. "Lucky's grandfather is Hector O'Leary. He lives at Atrium, the elderly housing building. Let's go see him. Mom says it's not good to drink too fast," Josh muttered. He licked his whipped cream mustache and slid out of the booth. "Makes you burp," he added with a burp. The kids headed down to Main Street. Snow was falling steadily and the sidewalk was turning white. Pal tried to bite the flakes as they fell past his nose. The windows of the elderly housing building were decorated with wreaths. A sign on the door said, "Welcome to Atrium, good living for good people." Inside the lobby, a Christmas tree stood in the center of the floor. Christmas carols came from a CD player. "Can I help you?" A white-haired woman in a wheelchair came wheeling up to them. "We're here to see Mr. O'Leary," Dink said. The woman smiled. "Hector's in the atrium," she said, pointing. "Just go through the swinging doors and look for a guy wearing a yellow baseball cap. But your doggy has to wait here." "I'll watch him for you." "Thanks," Josh said, handing over the leash. "His name's Pal, and he's real friendly." The woman leaned down and patted Pal's head. "I could tell that just by looking at him," she said. The kids headed for the swinging doors. A note on one door and said, "Don't let the birds out." "Birds?" Josh said. "What birds?" Dink shrugged. He pushed open one of the heavy wooden doors, and the kids entered the atrium. The room felt warm and moist, like a tropical rainforest. Sunlight poured in through the glass ceiling and walls. In one corner, a fountain bubbled over smooth stones. Everywhere the kids looked, they saw plants. Most were in... Oh, nope. I skipped a page. Hold on. Hanging pots, but others in large tubs. One tree grew right up through the opening in the floor. Its branches and leaves were like a huge green umbrella. Among the plants flew scores of parakeets with green, blue, and yellow feathers. They looked like flying jewels. "This is awesome," Josh said, ducking as a parakeet flew past his head. He took off his jacket, hat, and mittens. Dink removed his coat as he looked around the room. Elderly men and women were feeding the birds, playing cards, or just snoozing. He saw one man with a parakeet on his head. "I see Yellow Cap," Ruth Rose said, pointing to a man standing at a workbench. The kids walked over. Hector O'Leary wore a baggy sweatshirt and old jeans. He was nailing the roof onto a small birdhouse. He looked up when the kids approached. "Well, hello there," Hector said. "Are you selling candy? I'll buy one of each." Dink shook his head. We're friends of Lucky's, Dink said. He told us about the lottery ticket you sent him. The man's friendly eyes suddenly turned fiery. I'm so mad I could spit, he said. What's this world coming to when burglars steal Christmas cards? If I get my hands on that gangster, he'll wish he never met Hector Francis O'Leary. Francis asked us to try to find out who stole it, Ruth Rose said. Can we ask you some questions? Okie dokie, Hector said, laying down his hammer. Follow me. Lucky's grandfather led them to a circle of chairs around a low table. A blue parakeet landed on the table, carrying a small nail in his beak. Now where did you get that? Hector said as he took the nail and put it in his pocket. Blue Boy loves anything shiny, he said. Okie dokie, ask away. Someone knew that you sent lottery tickets to Lucky's house, Dink said. We were wondering if you told anyone, like a friend. Well, of course I told someone, Hector said, waving his arms toward the other people in the atrium. I told everyone. And that's where I'm going to stop this time, guys. Hope you enjoyed this part of the book. I'll read more of this one in a couple of days. Hope to see you then. Bye.